Joe Gardner, a pianist and music teacher at a college living in New York, dreams of becoming a professional jazz musician. His mother Libba would prefer him to be a full-time teacher, as it provides financial security. One day, Joe learns that a spot has opened up in Dorothea Williams' band thanks to one of his former students, and he auditions at a jazz club. Impressed, Dorothea hires him for the show that evening to see if he is up to par. Joe leaves the club in a euphoric state, not paying attention to his surroundings, and falls into a manhole. Joe finds himself in a soul state on his way to the great beyond. Refusing to die on the day his dream is finally coming true, he tries to escape but ends up in the great before, where counselors, all named Jerry, prepare souls to be born into life with the help of mentor souls. Each soul has a badge that allows them to go to Earth once it is completely filled with personality traits. Mistakenly taken for a mentor, Joe is assigned to train 22, a cynical soul who has always lived in the great before and refuses to be born. They discover that Joe is in a coma in a hospital. 22 agrees to let him help her find her spark to complete her badge and then give it to him so he can return to the world of the living. Joe fails to find a passion for 22 in the general hubbub. They escape from the great before and visit the zone, a place where souls go when their passions lead them into a euphoric trance, but which can also become a trap for souls of people who become too obsessed, and they then become lost souls. They meet Moonwind, a friend of 22 and the captain of a ship carrying a group of mystical hippies, who help Joe find his body on Earth through meditation. Joe returns to Earth but accidentally takes 22 with him, which results in 22 being trapped in Joe's body, and Joe in the body of a therapy cat. 22, in Joe's body, refuses to leave the hospital, but Joe, in the cat's body, forces her to leave and introduces her to a first earthly pleasure with a slice of pizza. They reunite with Moonwind, who now works as a sign spinner, who agrees to meet them later at the jazz club to help Joe find his body. In the meantime, 22 settles into Joe's body and discovers the small joys of life while interacting with Joe's loved ones. By talking to Connie, a student of Joe's who plays the trombone and wants to quit music, she manages to change her mind. With Des, who wanted to become a veterinarian but is now happy as a hairstylist, and who says that Joe only talked to him about his passion for jazz but never really cared about him, and Libba, who accepts Joe's passion for music. Meanwhile, Terry, a zealous accountant who counts the souls heading to the great beyond, discovers that Joe has gone missing and travels to Earth to send him to the great beyond and balance his accounts. At the end of the day, Joe and 22 meet up with Vendelium. But Joe belittles the earthly pleasures that 22 has discovered and that have given her a taste for life, saying that they are just trivialities that cannot help him find his purpose in life. Desperate, 22 runs away with Joe in pursuit to find her spark. Terry notices them running in a subway station and brings them both back to the great before. 22 realizes that her badge is filled, but Joe thinks it's only because she was in his body and hasn't really found her spark. 22 angrily throws the badge at him and disappears into the zone. A Michelle informs Joe that a spark is not in soul's purpose in life. Refusing to understand, Joe uses 22's badge to return to Earth. That night, the performance is a success, but Joe is not as satisfied as he imagined and realizes that his life has not changed significantly even after achieving his dream. Returning home, looking at the objects that 22 gathered while in his body and reminiscing about the moments they shared, he understands that these ordinary experiences gave him a spark. Playing the piano and remembering the simple joys he has experienced in his life, he enters the zone with the intention of returning 22's badge, but discovers that she has become a lost soul. He pursues her with the help of Jerry, who has also returned, but 22 sinks Jerry's ship and he chooses to return to Earth. After a chase through the great before, Joe is swallowed by a giant 22, follows her inside her dark body, and shows her a maple seed she had collected to remind him of the time she spent on Earth. He finally manages to calm her down by telling her that she has enough spark to be ready to live and that she is very talented at talking to people. Joe returns the badge to her and escorts 22 out of the great before for her journey back to Earth. As Joe is about to enter the great beyond, a Michelle stops him, thanks him for giving 22 a taste for life, and offers him another chance to live. Initially skeptical about the idea of returning, Joe eventually decides to go back to his body on Earth, determined to fully appreciate his existence in all its banality. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this animated movie and found it entertaining. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more animated movies like this. I put a lot of effort into creating these animations, so your support means a lot to me. If you have any feedback or suggestions for future animations, please leave a comment below. Once again, thank you for watching and I look forward to sharing more animated movies with you soon.